SecOps, formed from a combination of security and IT operations staff, is a highly skilled team focused on monitoring and assessing risk and protecting corporate assets, often operating from a security operations center or SEO. Hi everyone, this is Kavya from Edureka. Welcome to today's session on what is SecOps. Before we begin, I'd like to address the agenda. Firstly, we will understand why do we need SecOps, and then we will move on and understand what is SecOps. Also, we will be talking about some of the benefits of implementing SecOps in your IT organization. We will then discuss goals of SecOps, some of the SecOps tools that are available in the market today. Also, we will understand what does a SecOps center do. Moving on, we will discuss the key roles on a SecOps team. Then we will finally discuss SecOps in the cloud and how does SecOps work in ServiceNow. I hope you all are clear about the agenda. Kindly take up this time to subscribe to us and do not forget to hit that bell icon to never miss an update from the Edureka YouTube channel. Also, to learn more about new trending technologies, visit our page, the link to which is given in the description box below. So without much ado, let's get started. Why do we need SecOps? The need for SecOps is probably best illustrated by the fact that, according to the Gartner research, 99% of the security vulnerabilities exploited in 2019 will continue to be those known to the organization at the time of exploit. In another recent survey by Vogue, 79% of the companies that experience a security breach indicated it could have been avoided with a patch or configuration change. An outside observer would be forgiven for looking at those statistics and wondering why companies do not just fix the known issues. So, there are a few reasons as to why we need SecOps. The first reason is that there is a shortage of talent in system security. It's true that security and IT engineering professions are both experiencing massive talent shortages. Even an unlimited supply of talented humans, however, could not solve today's security challenges. Systems are way too complex and criminals are only getting faster. The second reason is that speeds and tool adoption are prioritized over security. Operations teams absolutely care about security, but they live in a world ruled by innovation, growth, and five nines uptime. They are responsible for not only maintaining a rapidly growing and increasingly unwieldy environments, often made up of tens of thousands of individual systems, but also using them to deliver more and more value to the business and its customers. Beyond prioritization, security and operations teams work with completely separate tools and workflows that require information to be translated each time it's passed back and forth between teams. This makes closed loop verification and reporting nearly impossible. Third reason is that innovation has outpaced security. Now, while business innovations push forward at breakneck speed, security lags painfully behind. This isn't to say there haven't been any security innovations, but most of them have been in reaction to the vulnerabilities and gaps created by the changing IT landscape rather than proactive efforts to help shape it in a secure way. Here's a fun fact. The average time to exploit a known vulnerability has decreased fourfold in recent years, that is from 45 days down to 3. Now that we know why do we need SecOps in the IT organization, let's move on and understand what is SecOps. One of the most common problems faced by enterprise IT organizations is in establishing effective communication and collaboration between departments. Applications that are deployed in the cloud may have a dedicated development team that builds new updates and patches, an operations team that manages the performance of the application, and an IT security team that maintains the security posture of the application and responds to potential cyber threats. Problems usually occur when these teams are siloed. Recently, IT managers have attempted to reduce friction between the various working groups in IT with new methodologies that promote collaboration and process integration between departments that have traditionally operated independently. SecOps is simply a methodology that IT managers implement to enhance the connection, collaboration, and communication between IT security and IT operations working teams, helping to ensure that the IT organization as a whole can meet its application and network security objectives without compromising on application performance. SecOps is a term given to security and operations in the same way that the popular DevOps methodology derives its name from development and operations. SecOps may also be referred to as DevSecOps when the organization attempts to simultaneously eliminate information and activity silos between development, security, and operations teams within IT. Now that we know what is SecOps, let's move on and check out some of the benefits of implementing SecOps. So, the first benefit is information and communication are integrated, which offers better visibility and awareness of vulnerabilities in an organization, which can eventually help in decision making. The second benefit is priorities unite. Security takes center stage. It may be built into IT and software development environments from the onset, enhancing security and defenses. The third benefit is that tools and technology amalgamate, forming one security portfolio that provides enhanced IT hygiene and optimal endpoint protection. IT and security teams can work together to effectively use real time remediation and query tools to understand the state of endpoints. Thus, they conduct a proactive vulnerability assessment. The fourth benefit is that IT operations can be streamlined, improved operational efficiency, fewer compliance failures, minimal downtime, and more successful patch deployment. The last benefit is that security is proactive. Continuous security policies that apply to the entire organization help to resolve issues more precisely and quickly. Now let's move on and understand some of the goals of SecOps. Now, the overarching goal of the SecOps methodology is to ensure that organizations do not compromise the security of an application as they strive to meet development timelines and application uptime and performance requirements. The first and most important requirement for the success of a SecOps program is to obtain management buy-in and establish a clear and attainable timeline for improving organization security. From there, IT organizations should establish a cross-department collaboration that strives to introduce application security features and aspects at earlier stages of application development. A typical software development cycle begins with planning and requirement analysis, the definition of application requirements, and product architecture design. Now, once the product is built, it will be thoroughly tested before its deployment to the production environment. Now, the difficulty in the traditional model is that security considerations may not be introduced until late in the development process. SecOps addresses this difficulty by encouraging collaboration with operations and security teams throughout the development process, ensuring that necessary security features are baked in during the development process, a way that minimizes the impact on application performance. Now let's move on and check out some of the SecOps tools that are available in the market today. There are various SecOps tools that are available in the market today, but we're going to just be discussing the most important one. The first one is alerting tools. We have 411, we have Alerta, we also have Elasta Alert. So 411 is the local directory assistant number for Canada and the United States, but it is also a slang term for information. 411, the program allows you to manage your alerts using a web-based interface. It enables you to query different data sources for all the alerts it created. Alerta, on the other hand, is an alert management system that allows you to query, monitor, and visualize alerts. Alerta offers numerous native integrations with several services such as Prometheus, InfluxDB, Capacitor, Google Stackdriver, Telegram, and PagerDuty. Moreover, Alerta has a very flexible alert format, so you can include all the alerts that really matter to you. It can also handle duplicate alerts and can help you correlate one alert to another. Elasta Alert gives you an easy way to get alerts on spikes, anomalies, and other patterns you would be interested in when it comes to Elasticsearch data. The third one is Elast Alert. Elast Alert gives you an easy way to get alerts on spikes, anomalies, and other patterns you would be interested in when it comes to Elasticsearch data. Elast Alert is modular and reliable and is very easy to set up and configure. Some of the key features are it works with a variety of alert types, gets alerts on spikes, irregular patterns, and other data, and it automatically retries alerts that return errors. The second types of SecOps tools is automation. So StackStorm is one of the most famous automation tools which positions itself as the IFTTT for your ops. Like IFTTT, StackStorm can detect when a certain event happens, and sets forth different actions that you want to do according to the rules you set. Now, unlike other current automation tools, StackStorm does not really rely on human input. Instead, it autonomously gets information from sensors and actions and sets your rules into motions. Some of the key features are it sets up workflows for multiple rules and actions executed in order. It also escalates issues for human intervention, automates anything with StackStorm from controlling home appliances to tools, the Internet of Things, and much more. Next on the list, we have visualization tools. Here we have Jiffy, which is an open graph visualization platform allowing you to see and explore your data easily. Free to use Jiffy creates any type of graph to visualize your data. You can utilize Jiffy for analyzing links and correlations between two objects, your social data, biological data, and much more. It supports a variety of file formats and may be extended by a variety of plugins too. Every data scientist and analyst should use Jiffy to help them understand the data and gain new insights from it. The next on the list is threat intelligence. The first one is Critical Stack Intel Marketplace, which gives you access to a wide range of Intel sources, blacklists, and feeds. You can choose which ones to use. Here, each Intel feed is peer-reviewed in that other users can rate the feed to give you an indicator if it is trustworthy or not. What's more, a lot more of these are free to use. You can even choose 2 or more feeds and mix and match, and you can decide which indicators and metrics to focus on. The Intel Marketplace supports two-step authentication, and you can use command line to deploy the tool. Some of the key features are there is a wide range of Intel sources, blacklists, and feeds. Also, the peer-reviewed resources engages trust. The next one is Open Threat Partner Exchange, or OpenTPX. It lets you share and exchange information on threat intelligence, collections, context, and networks, as well as how to mitigate these threats. It uses the large volume of data that you get from different sources and in numerous formats. OpenTPX is machine readable, but humans can also understand the content easily. The last SecOps tool in threat intelligence is RiskIQ, which is also called as RiskIQ Passive Total. That is a threat analysis tool that brings together all the relevant online data sets in order to make investigation into and subsequent elimination of threats a whole lot faster. Passive Total will expose and map threat infrastructure while also giving you all the intelligence and context to the incidents and events that you are investigating. Not only that, you can also predict attacks and threats that are just starting to proliferate on the internet and look into infrastructures that are used in different attacks. Most importantly, you can use RiskIQ Passive Total to defend yourself from attacks. The last kind of SecOps tools that we'll be discussing today, and the most important one, is the testing tools. The first testing tool that we'll be talking today is about Brakeman Pro, which is a security scanner that you can use when you're developing on Ruby on Rails. It can scan your applications for any vulnerability that may exist, no matter what stage of development you're in. Brakeman is different from other scanners because it looks at your source code. You do not really need to set up your entire application stack. The beauty of using Brakeman is that you spend no time setting it up. You only need to really execute it. You can run it at any time and is very flexible. Brakeman does not use spidering sites, allowing itself to completely cover all aspects of your application. The next one that we'll be talking about is the Iron Wasp. Iron Wasp can help you find security vulnerabilities and issues on your website, checking for dozens of commonly seen web vulnerabilities. The open source scanner is graphical and very intuitive to use. In fact, you don't really need to be an IT security professional in order to use it. You can also extend it with different plugins. Moreover, you can get additional modules that were built by its growing community, including a Wi-Fi router scanner, an SAP security scanner, and other tools. Now let's move on to the next topic of this session and understand what does a SecOps center do. Now, one of the major challenges that IT organizations face is establishing a clear set of objectives, roles, and responsibilities for SecOps. Security and operations should act as an integrated team that manages the ongoing protection of the organization's information assets while consistently meeting application performance objectives and service level requirements. Many IT organizations establish a dedicated SecOps center where SecOps teams members collaborate and work towards these objectives. Some of the most important activities and capabilities of the Security Operations Center include network monitoring. SecOps teams are typically responsible for closely monitoring activity throughout the IT enterprise infrastructure, including private, public, and hybrid cloud environments. Network monitoring includes monitoring of security events and the operational status and performance of deployed applications. They also work on incident response. When an unwanted or unexpected situation occurs, SecOps teams are responsible for implementing the incident response plan. Incidents may be reported by users, but they are frequently discovered by network monitoring software tools before they affect end users at all. When a security breach happens, an incident response team takes the appropriate steps to contain the damage and prevent the attacker from further accessing the network. The next one on the list is forensics and root cause analysis. Forensics analysis of security events reflects the capability developed by SecOps to analyze and assess information to determine the root cause of a security breach, performance issue, or another unexpected event on the network. Now, SecOps teams use specialized security software tools to conduct a root cause analysis, determine the underlying causes of security issues, and rectify them before they can be exploited again. The last one on the list is threat intelligence. Threat intelligence is a security process with two basic steps. The first one is gaining knowledge and understanding of possible security threats to the organization, and the second one is establishing methods to detect and respond to those threats. Threat intelligence can be conducted as a collaborative effort within the SecOps teams, within the company as a whole, and even between separate business entities with a collective interest in securing their internal systems. Now that we know what does a SecOps center do, let's move on and understand key roles in a SecOps team. So the first role that we'll be talking about is the incident responder. So the responsibility of he or she is to configure and monitor security tools, identify threats, and he or she also triages, classifies, and prioritizes threats. The next one on the list, we have security investigator, who identifies affected hosts and devices, evaluates running and terminated processes, and also performs threat analysis and crafts and deploys mitigation and eradication strategies. The third one on the list, we have advanced security analyst, who identifies unknown vulnerabilities and reviews some of the past threats and mitigations. He or she also assesses vendor and product health and eventually recommends product, process, and tool changes. Then we have the SEO manager, who manages the entire SEO team, communicates with CISO, business leaders, and partners, and also has strong people management and crisis management skills, and is very familiar with the functions and responsibilities of each SEO tier. Finally, we have the security engineer or architect, who manages the overall security architecture, ensures architecture is part of the development cycle, and eventually evaluates and tests vendor tools and ensures compliance. Let's move on and understand what role does SecOps play in the cloud. I'm sure most of you will agree when I say that the cloud is the most powerful tool when it comes to securing your company's endpoints. Moving SecOps to the cloud can enhance your security even more as a collaborative cloud power approach which allows you to execute, establish, build, remove, extend, and replace. So, firstly, you'll have to execute a broad range of operational activities quickly, confidently, on demand, and eventually establish proactive IT hygiene to prevent attacks. And then moving on, you build consistency into operational reporting and auditing processes. And finally, remove barriers between security analysis and IT operations. And then you move on and extend investigations and remediation capabilities, and eventually replace ad hoc scripts and tasks with a structured SecOps platform. With all of this said, let's understand how does SecOps work in ServiceNow. For all of you all who don't know what ServiceNow is a ticketing tool that processes and catalogs customer service requests. You can raise requests that deal with incidents, changes, and problems and other services using tools like ServiceNow. Now, actually, ServiceNow Security Operations brings incident data from your security tools into a structured response engine that uses intelligent workflows, automation, and a deep connection with IT to prioritize and resolve threats based on the impact they pose to your organization. The first thing that you will have to do is identify, prioritize, and remediate vulnerabilities in software, operating systems, and assets. The ServiceNow Vulnerability Response application helps organizations identify and respond quickly and efficiently to vulnerabilities. The second one is to integrate your monitoring security tools and or MSSP. The third one is to prioritize operational events, security incidents, and vulnerabilities automatically. The fourth one is to utilize threat intelligence, machine learning, and AI ops. In the fifth step, you're informed and governed constantly about your response. And in the sixth step, you automate remediation. Finally, you visualize operational health and security posture in any visualization form that you'd like. With this, we come to the end of today's session of What is SecOps? I hope you had a great time learning and understanding about it. If you have any queries, please feel free to leave them down in the comment section below. Until next time, thank you.
I hope you have enjoyed listening to this video. Please be kind enough to like it, and you can comment any of your doubts and queries, and we will reply them at the earliest. Do look out for more videos in our playlist and subscribe to Edureka channel to learn more. Happy learning!